Hey friends, welcome back to the Gubba Homestead. I'm Gubba and today I am going to be giving you a tour of my retro oven or antique oven. It's an older oven that has been restored and is now in my kitchen and has a whole history of stories and family that I now get to embody in my home, and I feel very grateful for. I recently shared a reel just going over the basics of this oven and you all loved it, so I wanted to do a little more in-depth talking about it, answering questions like, how do you get an oven like this? What's it like? And just showing you how cool this is. I have so much love for this oven. This is one of my favorite things in my kitchen. My oven is an O'Keefe Merritt 850 Model G. So these were made in the 1940s and the 1950s, which I feel like is a time when craftsmanship was still at its height and people who were crafting were putting love into their work. Now I feel like the appliances we get, they're off some assembly line in China, they fall apart easily. I mean, after a few years, you're having problems. You call the 1-800 number, you get somebody who has no clue what's going on, they're just reading you a script, and it's a complete nightmare. This, on the other hand, was built to last for forever and will 100% be a family heirloom. So this will be written into my will. So whatever lucky child, grandchild gets this, they are going to be very lucky, or maybe I'll stay in this farmhouse forever. I feel like there is a resurgence of people wanting to return to their roots, but not only that, returning to the quality of what we once had. Like I said, things just fall apart now. I've experienced that with previous appliances, and it's such a nightmare when you have to get somebody in to come and fix it, and there's different manuals and the 1-800 number, like the person doesn't, it's just a nightmare. I have not experienced that with this, and I've actually experienced it's quite easy to maintenance, and especially if you know somebody who knows gas ovens, that makes it a lot easier. As I was doing more research on my oven and what's made it so durable to last the test of time, what I had read is that because it is made with elements of cast iron, it's made of elements of the resistant porcelain cooktop, and you also have the chrome elements to it. There is another model of this that has a chrome top, and then you can just feel the quality in the pieces. So these different knobs, they're just sturdy. I'm not sure how to explain it, but you know when you feel something that's cheap and it's plastic and it shakes and it's gonna break off at any moment? These are really durable, and I cannot believe that these little knobs that have been used to cook so many family meals and bring the family together into the dining room to maybe smell the fresh bread that's cooking or whatever stew is going on the cooktop. Like these knobs that have been used over and over and over and over again multiple times a day, so thousands of times, they're still sturdy. They work, they give a beautiful flame, and they don't feel like plastic because they're not, and that like they're just going to pop off. So what I'm trying to say is this was built with quality in mind when people cared about their craftsmanship. I mean, you see new houses being built all over the place now, and people sharing their stories about how the contractors don't care, like sliding off their foundation, cracks, like horrible. And our ancestors lived in a different time, and I feel like we should try and research this. We should try and find old appliances like this, support the people who are restoring them, learn how to restore them ourselves, because when we start saying no to garbage that they're giving us in the store, they're gonna have to change. They're gonna have to give us better stuff, or we just say, you know what? We're gonna find something restored. When I was looking into finding a forever oven for my farmhouse, I was looking at retro ovens, obviously, and I was in between the O'Keefe Merritt and the Chambers oven. Both are really cool, and they have tons of different models, tons of different variations, and I settled on this one. I just put my hand where the pilot is right here, so it's always warm right here. Whoop. I settled on this because of a few different things, so we're gonna walk through the different elements of this oven and why I love it so much and why it works here on my homestead. For starters, so we have 4 different cooktops, and there's some models that come with like 8 cooktops. How cool would that be? But 4 different cooktops, so that gives me variety. I can have sauces going, I can have veggies cooking, I can have a dough rising, so I have a lot of space right here. And then not only that, these different stovetops have 2 flame variations, which was unique to the O'Keefe Merritt. That was one of their big selling points actually with this oven. When you turn the cooktop on, it has a little flame right here. So this is like the little simmer flame, and then you go to the full flame. But I just used it the other night. I was making a chili, and I just needed to simmer, and you have that little simmer flame that you can go to. So this is pretty unique to the time. And I have a manual for this oven, but it's not the exact manual for this, the 850G. That one is actually difficult to come by for whatever reason. So I have one that's like a general, and they talk a lot about that little simmer flame, which is pretty cool. I think it's awesome, and I actually use it a lot. A really cool element that I feel a lot of older ovens have is this griddle. The Chambers model that I was looking at also had a griddle, but it was built down, and I believe you had to pop it up. Still so cool. I really liked that this griddle was on top. It's chrome, so it's actually non-stick, naturally non-stick, and it is so easy to clean up. Not only that, like the little detail, it has this little window that says cool, bake, and hot, so it detects the temperature and then tells you. So you think of a mom and she has kids, so she can keep an eye on this, like know if this is hot, she doesn't have to touch it. And I just love these little details that go into it, like that little simmer flame, and then you have this chrome griddle, which I've used to bake eggs on. I actually haven't used this as much as I should, and the eggs turned out perfect. So this is cool. I'm just thinking of all the breakfasts that were made on this. You had the mom or the dad in the kitchen, and she's making the eggs and the pancakes, and all the grease just runs down right into these holes. And then the oven comes with these convenient cleanouts that are below the burners and below the griddle, which I love. Just a simple little detail like that to clean under the stove. Keep things simple. After you eat or you're baking a big meal, you just pull them out and you clean them, you get the grease out. Under the burners, you have these longer ones. I actually have to clean up from my chili the other day. There's even some seasonings that made it here. But yeah, you just pull this out. It catches all the drippings. So the insides of your oven, which we will take apart and I will show you because I've had to learn how to maintenance, and I'm working on some things on my oven currently. So those pullouts catch it. It's just so cool. I love these little details. And speaking of little details, so I have this top right here that has a dual function. It can cover the stovetop like this. Think of a mom, she has kids running around, full kitchen. The end of the day, she pulls this down and says, kitchen's closed. Or you just cook a meal, you have kids running around, and you want to cover the hot surface. Well, here you go. How cool is that? So the dual function of this is you lift up, and it has these little pulleys right here. These pulleys attach back into these little notches in the rear of the oven. And what this is a warming center. Even I've had this oven for almost a year now, and even just talking about it, I get so excited because it's so cool and it's just so functional. So you got the mom who's made the whole dinner, and so you can put your pots back here, and this helps retain the heat of whatever you just cooked. And it's so cool, and it looks cool. You could just leave your oven like this. So now I'm going to take this down, and it's easy to disassemble. You just have those little pulleys that pop back into place. And what's so cool and fascinating is I feel the technology on this is so simple but efficient, like those knobs to just pop into place like that. You don't have a big screen right here that you have to punch something in and unlock it, and you know, all these little components that don't actually do anything. Like, it's just functional. And speaking of simple and closing the kitchen, it has a little light up here that you can just pop on and off. So late at night, kitchen's closed, you put this down, you turn the light off that says kitchen's closed, but you can get snacks if you need to, but you're on your own. It also has these little salt and pepper shakers. And I can't help but think of the families that have used these before me. So here's the little holes on the side, and they're making dinner, they're on the stove, instead of having to go to the cabinet or leave salt and pepper out, they just grab it from the top of their oven. Like, think about how many meals these have made. And I just love that. I love that there's a sense of connecting with others and history and people's stories through having just a retro appliance that lasts for forever. Like, I don't see how this couldn't because the components are so simple. This oven also comes with 2 functional clocks. So this is the timer over here that has the hours and the minutes that you can set. You're baking a turkey. This timer has got you. Over here, there's also a timer and a clock, and I'll be honest, I have not used the clocks to their full functional capability, but I feel like they're pretty advanced for what, the 1940s and 50s for the other technology that were coming out. One thing is the manual specific for this one, like I mentioned, I do not have. And the manual that I do have, the clocks are a little bit different. So when I was initially looking, that's why I haven't used them fully, because I haven't dove further into that. I should take some time because they are pretty cool. But that was my one setback, was trying to find the specific manual for this. Maybe it's available now. I haven't looked for about a year now. This oven also comes with two ovens, so left hand and a right hand side. And the right hand side I currently do not have functional, and that is one thing that I'm working through with all of the components. So when we open this up, I will show you, kind of talk about what's going on. And it also has two broilers with a fantastic, beautiful flame, like how the griddle flame came out. And because these are so simple in the components and how it was structured, it's really easy to clean and to keep clean, which is important for me. And what I'm doing on my homestead, I wouldn't want a super complex thing that's difficult to clean. Because of the burner, I have gotten some scorch on the porcelain, but you can get that out with like a baking soda scrub. But what I've noticed, because this has been restored, when I scrub with the baking soda or whatever solution I make, it goes down to the original and goes past the restore. So I'm not too bothered by the little flame marks. I just kind of clean as I go. But let's open this up and let me show you what's going on down here. One thing that I love so much about my old retro oven is I feel like the maintenance is pretty simple. As you saw, I just took off the top, and it has all of the components for the most part right here that I can see what's going on. I can adjust if I need to, and it has been a learning curve because I haven't had a stove like this before. But back when I had an electrical stove, I wouldn't have even have known where to begin, and I feel like it was not as simple as this. You can let me know how you feel in the comments if you feel like the newer modern stoves are easier to maintenance, but I feel like stuff back in the day, especially when it came to appliances, they made them with higher quality materials and they made them easier to maintenance, because back then when things were created and crafted with care and they lasted forever, well, if they make the appliances easy to maintenance nowadays, then they will last for forever, and then places will go out of business. I have not ever maintained an oven like this, but I had to learn, because when I got it, I had to adjust the burners, and so there's little valves that control the oxygen and the gas amount. So I've had to adjust those. I've also had to finagle with my right oven to get the pilot light working. So it worked for a while. Well, the pilot light still works, but it just doesn't stay on. So I have replaced the thermocouple on my right oven, and the pilot still does not stay on. So then I got a unit up here, this little top unit that is controlling this right oven to replace. I have not gotten to that yet, because it is a bit of a project, but I'm going to. It shouldn't be too bad. And then if that isn't it, maybe it's the positioning of the pilot light. Still sorting that out on the right hand side, but I really do love the maintenance of this. I feel like you're lifting up a car hood, but it's much more simple. You can see where the pilot lights are lit, where I have to light those. You can make the adjustments to the burners if the flame is too big or it isn't lighting on its own. I have really enjoyed this, and it's helped me learn a bit. It's good to know how to maintenance your own things. Again, like with my fridge or my dishwasher, I feel like they make it hard to maintenance. I was looking at the manual for my dishwasher, and it does not really give you any details of how to fix the serious problems. So yeah, it is really simple, and I wish things were made like this still. I'm not sure if I mentioned a little detail with the two ovens. There are little lights, and so there's just these little switches right up here that you can click on and off. So when I have bread in there, I click a little switch, see how it's looking, if I need to keep an eye on the browns or whatever is going on inside my oven, like the brown top, because you know when the recipes say cook until lightly browned. The windows and and the light helped me see that. A huge selling point for me too on this specific model was it had the windows in the oven. I like to see what's going on instead of having to crack the oven open and, you know, let heat escape. So the windows were such a huge selling point to me. And I just love that because you can see how the models advance, because you probably had the mom at home who was letting them know, hey, like it'd be really nice to have windows, or it'd be nice to have a light. And now I get to experience the convenience of those in my own kitchen. And what's so nice in the oven is it just has these racks that are easily adjustable. There's knobs on the side of the oven, and it's just, I am taken aback by the efficiency of this oven, and even just talking to you about it and all these little details. So simple, but elegant and intricate. How did they do it? We need more craftsmanship like this. So that is the basics, well actually the whole encompassing part of my O'Keefe and Merritt oven. Simple, durable, easy to manage and clean. Oh, I love this. I love this oven so much. I feel like I'm a part of a bigger family than just me, because so many families have used this to bring in food, which is such a central part to our inner beings and connecting with others. So I love this oven. If you have any questions, let me know. I will try to answer them the best that I can. Also, if you have any information on this oven, let me know. I'm actually gonna try and find another manual now that I think about it, see if this is maybe available somewhere. And I appreciate you so much for coming by, stopping in to see the oven, and don't do anything a Gubba wouldn't do. I'll see you guys next time.